Hello all. So this is the shortest 8-bit comic, of the Kettoni of the Naravas, and Kettoni is another word for duel or battle. And the Naravas, as you may have picked up, is Xynfor's race. And so this is pretty much the story that takes place after the um, after the sequel. Yeah, this is the first story that comes up. And the story is about because Venlig, he was an Naravas, just like Xynfor, except he's part of the new generation that have just come back. And sorry, and um, I just thought because whilst I've come up with all sorts of ideas, I was trying to remember what else I've I did as ideas. I've thought of like what if well, not what if, but the Legion having their own animal forms like the Numians, but I feel like that complicates like the rules. And then you also have Zemi fighting another the being of his race, because for example it's all about the technology when the race is mainly meant to be about in like the fantasy side of things with the lightning. Then I thought that was kind of cool to cover. There was even a second detective story, or a detective story of done, which I think I'll still. All of these are well adapted as animations, but the detective story, Volvin and Data. I've come up with a mystery that I think could work quite well. It's like a simpler one, but it's still kind of cool regardless. It's definitely like one of those kind of premises where you like introduce all of the suspects, and then every time you could be like, "Oh, is it this one or this one or this one?" And then the final conclusion still kind of works. So I haven't thought about that in a long time, but I thought it could be kind of neat. And there's many other stories I've thought of, but so I don't know why some were made more than others, but I think with this one, I think I just really like the concept, and the Naravas is definitely one of my favorite races as well. But I think before we start, so there's I think that's their spaceship. That's what a modern Naravas looks like, just like a normal one. And then I really like this this queue of them. Like, granted, they play very little role, but I just really like this effect. It's kind of cool. You kind of see the ton. It's just pretty cool. And then this is Van here, so he's given Zami's armor because even because he was somehow wearing blue from the get go, but I think blue that's probably was established to be the new Naravas color, and if the Naravas are kind of like gravity's like embodied within like their physique, then I think that's how it's like representative, with the dark blue representing air. But this is even if it is the that's their colour, almost similar to Zami, but I feel like Zami did use his key powers to give Veleg more of a suit. These are side guns as well, which is a nice feature, and does have some spikes as well to go along with the Naravas culture, because these are pretty much spikes as well. So they blow out the race likes their spikes. But then even I don't know who I forgot what the role is called, but even he has additional green armor, making him stand out. And I feel like Venlig's armor is way better. It has additional detail, but as well like this one regardless, and just have the Naravas weapon where it's the blade on one side and a blunt weapon on the other. But we'll see both of them more in action. Let's get going. So once again, this is the timeline established right here. A month after Gareth's defeat, the Legion, with the new Legion members, have continued to do well, even becoming more of a leading force for the new Gen Morphils. However, some trouble is up. So this was nice to address, because I remember thinking, I was pod with them, but maybe it was kind of unanswered in the sequel. Maybe Pod needed to be around with the Legion, considering how the Legion was downfalling, but a bit. But it could have brought the Morphils too. So it's kind of a shame I forgot about it. But I'll definitely will. I'll acknowledge them in the reboot, if going back to these sequel stories. So we established a timeline, and it explains why Pod's not here, but there's still other trouble coming about. So I think the Legion just so I think they spotted this outside, so that's why all the Legion members have exited, and and all of the Legion members are they're all together under one roof, and so Nicole is with Vendig, almost like hiding him behind the base, being like, okay, don't worry, do as I say, and then the rest of the league just kind of come out, like a safety numbers kind of thing. And so, yeah, Sapporo says that is a Naravas ship coming. So, we haven't really seen what Naravas ship is like if they ever did travel. Oh, yeah, of course they would have done because of, also the fact the elements. So, yeah, it's nice to, I don't want to do the arrow there, but yeah, it's nice to, showcase that. It's not the best ship design, but it does have a standout part to it, so that's kind of neat. So, Nicole, okay, Venlig, as you wanted to stay, we'll have a word with whoever is within that ship. Don't forget, you have done rather well. So, yeah, so that's going back to the sequel, because if you remember from the commentary or just the comic in general, yeah, Venlig, he had the insecurity being like, how else would I, be able to, continue, just make the Naravas, look good, after all the unforgivable stuff that Sign for has done, but thanks to the likes of Nicole and even buying it, even if he's absent, he's probably doing some work in the base, regardless. But yeah, there is a reason why all of these Legion members are out there. So yeah, we'll go back to that. But yeah, when Venlig did come to the battle against the Contrapots alongside Gara and the other allies, and that's where. Oh yeah, that should have capital, by the way. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, that's where. Yeah, he did. The battle was won on the Legion side, because of Venlig's involvement. He's a proper tank after all. And but yeah, he's because he left his own planet earlier because he didn't want to feel imprisoned within the planet. He wanted to go out to explore, hopefully to redefine the race, and he did. The redefining your own race or culture, etc. Even that's the theme all across like the mental pathology. So it's a nice way to expand on that. Although him being absent, causes this consequence, which is need to explore, and we'll see how this conflict comes about. So yeah, let's get going. All right, so the leader is here with some Naravas. The ship has landed on the background. All of the Legion members are about. Even Venlig decides to step ahead. And Nicole is the one to speak. She's the captain after all. Well, actually, no, she's the defense leader. Actually, yeah. So yeah, very high role. Okay, so she said, "Look, I don't know what you're doing here, but Venlig doesn't want to return to Orivon. Yeah, Orivon is their world, by the way. Yeah, very cool name. But then the leader, sorry, speech should be a bit more like this. He then says, well, it would have been nice to know when and why he left in the first place, but I have my guesses. Regardless, if you're this universe protecting team, then fine. If you're Oh, okay, so yeah, it's just because for a second I thought I was missing the word by saying if you're in this universe protected team, but if he's outlining it like this, then yeah, I think it's just accepting that the Legion are this protected force because they did overcome most of the problems in the universe. Then fine, but it must be earned. You then have one day to meet me at Orivon and challenge me. If you win, you can stay. If not, you can stay in the shadows with us. So yeah, this is pretty much setting up the plot. We can somewhat see what the status quo is like, with the Legion all together, and Vendig is treated with respect, presumably by the others, even if Grinnicos might be most soon to be the most defensive. But yeah, so he's soon to stay around, but they're like, oh no, you'll be coming with us if if you do lose the duel. So yeah, there's just a obstacle to overcome if Venlig wants to stay, and so yeah, I think you pretty much get the idea. So yeah, they're very menacing in that, and yeah, and because they are still a firm and strong race, but obviously they don't have that agenda that Sign for and the Zero had. But anyway, yeah, let's get going. Yeah, I just suddenly realised this is the Legion building and the ABBA poster is missing, so this must be before I started putting ABBA on the wall, but never mind. Anyway, I don't know who to read first, but Oh, Ridder, that's the name of the leader. Okay. So he's pretty much like the leader of this era for the Naravas, so that's good to know. I wonder how good of a leader he is. Would have been. Uh, sorry, I'm fine. So, this looks like its first speech bubble. I got to fight Ryder, the leader. How am I going to do that? And then the con then goes, not only will we give you extra abilities thanks to our tech, but all of us will teach you all the tricks we know of. And then the Fastnos then goes, none of us have been to Oregon before, so that will be interesting. So, he's still informal. And wait a minute, did I just I thought I saw Hellwolf a couple of times, but she didn't make it at the end of the sequel. So did I accidentally apply it to past stories, no, past pages rather in this book? Oh gosh, that's a really bad continuity error. Probably one of my worst ones. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, she's not here at the moment, so hopefully it will maintain continuity that way. Pasnos is, he still has his informal self, and so he's just like the audience where they're like, we've never been to Horrible, what's that going to be like? So even if it's not very explored, we still get to see it, and even if you have seen it on the, with some of the uh, comic book pages, even the storybook as well. So yeah, it's thanks to that battle in the third book, but I feel like this will be seen in another area or seeing the planet rebuilt, especially with a master arena added. So yeah, so this new era Naravas still likes this combat, probably still likes to practice. And but yeah, the rules must be flexible because he's going to be taught new tricks and even added technologies. So I think it would have been better if um, if they were like, oh, Ridder, we know what TV name is, are we allowed to teach some new bits and bobs, even up to, his abilities? And then I'm thinking, well, like, yeah, fine, because you won't be able to beat me, or probably might be less, is Dino staying around, but oh well, see how good you Legion are with teaching your um, how you can pass your skills on to him. So yeah, that's something like that should have been addressed. But regardless, yeah, this is a good conversation, and yeah, we'll see what's going on next. Okay, why's that test dummy got a slightly longer arm here? I'm not sure. Anyway, so Nicole, thanks to Zami, you have armor that is nearly as tough as Nicho, and access to explosive lasers as well. Okay, I thought it would be lightning, but I think explosive lasers are just something to make Bendig suit stand out more, vary the type of lasers that exist. Then Zivit here, there you go. I can spawn one temporary Naravas spirit after another. These are actually hard to generate, actually, which we'll get to. And then Andata then says to herself, why let him go when he wins? From how strict they are, there must be more to this winning or losing. So even if it's overthinking, and I think thanks to the previous book or the comic, the previous chapter, she's a big thinker. So she doesn't want to see this dilemma on the surface. She's thinking there'll be more to it, and yeah, thanks to her thinking, she does work it out that something wasn't quite right, and thanks to her addressing it first, it pretty much saves Venlig from the trouble. And so yeah, she talking if they are like quite a strict race, then just having that we can win or lose, and these are what could happen either way. So yeah, she's just like that a strict race wouldn't go that easy. And so also in this room, so this might be a window. I don't know what this green patch is here. Maybe it is a window. But yeah, that's the target, and yeah, there's a test dummy. And so Zami's applied the armor. Would have been nice to see Zami, form some cubes and apply the armor over time, but I feel like that will be far more creative and showing when in the animation. But not to mention, this is the most amount of pixels I apply to a character, so I think I might reduce, like the spikes and maybe a couple of other bits of detail, but regardless, it's 14. Okay, I'm just trying to get track of something. So yeah, I think I would like to carry the suit an idea, but just have less detail. Because with animation, one rule is it's the difference between illustration and animation. But if you're going to get animating, then make sure you don't give yourself too much to create. And even if this pixelated approach is a bit more like stop motion almost, I still don't use too much time, especially if I'm going to be posting aiming to post very often, pretty much. So it looks like Sammy put a lot of thought and concentration into his mental at point where it's like extremely hard. So it's good to address. I don't know what the name of Sammy's custom material is. Should address that in the reboot. So Zivert. So this was an interesting plot hole because with having the thought of some spirits, are all spirits just as easy to form, or are some trickier than others? And I thought, if I make some trickier, that means that Naravas spirit will be quite stronger, I can imagine. So it apparently took some more time. So it's exploring that kind of power, and I guess it addresses a plot of which probably might have appeared loads of times. Why not form a Naravas one every single time? But that's been addressed, and so Simit forms this one as like one to practice against, which is rather neat idea to practice the combat. Because I think he would have practiced on other Legion members too, and even learn other skills by copying, etc. But it's just it's just like a very cool idea regardless. But anyway, there's like little bits and bobs of character in this one, but because of how short the story is, it's not hugely entertaining, but not hugely character driven. It's like more of a story. But anyway, before we get going. Alright, so we're inside Orivon, which is, I read it, but these colours are quite interesting. So it's jade like the element, and it's matching their armour, and it still kind of works with outside. It looks like a grey sky, or no, I think it is grey, unless that's a wall. I'm not sure. I like it either way, and there's some vegetation alongside. It could be like the ground actually. See how that matches, and then you can see some how it's structured. That's the window, and it looks like his stick is talking. And that's a throne too. So if we can see quite a lot. So this one soldier, he says, so are we really going to allow Venlig back home? It's a serious matter that he's left, not gone back and got himself involved with this clan. I think I'm missing one or two words here, but so he's just addressing, being like, is it allowed? Is that fine? I thought we would be more strict than this. So they are treating him leaving as like quite a big deal. So it's kind of cool to address the potential consequences. But then the leader then goes, exactly, that's why the duel is a means to a certain end. So that's really like so at first you could be like, okay, so it's about to do the death without letting him know. So so Andata is possibly thinking a couple of steps ahead, already working out the motivation almost, considering how strict this race is. And so just makes you wonder what's going to happen. So quite a lot in this page. I quite like it. So I think we'll get on to the duel pretty much. So let's get going. So we're in a spare spot in Orivon, so you can see some buildings from time to time. There must be some land here in the background with the vegetation. That's the arena, despite being hidden by the speech bubble. Then there's spare land, and then you can see them standing around. And no, Werewolf is not meant to be in this one. No, she but she was gone in the previous sequel. I really like the character, but oh no, book two had to have no, the sequel had to have a permanent consequence. It cost somehow. Oh no, that's really bad continuity. It's just pretend she's not there. Yeah. Oh god, I feel really bad. But yeah, I meant I'm not meant to resurrect characters off screen for no reason. Yeah, that's just not a story thing. But anyway, so let's just see what Nicole says. Okay, the moment is here. You knocked everything out of the park regarding the training. Now apply it all against him. So I guess the training we saw earlier when he first got the suit, so maybe there should have been enough page just showing a bit more how he trained, so it makes this moment a bit more satisfying. So yeah, I think you can definitely tell that how condensed this story is, just make it seem shorter, thus quicker, but it can come across that addressing them some bits and bobs. So yeah, she's just like, giving some good encouragement, saying he's done well, he's got all of his cool abilities. So yeah, also I feel like Apollo should have his pod down because he mainly did that during like battles, but yeah, regardless, yeah, let's hop on to the next scene. Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty much the fight itself, and just seeing what the arena is like. I can't really make out what kind of pattern work is within this arena, but never mind. So it's just like a close up, and yeah, he's got his arms out, probably to back himself off from a punch. But anyway, so the leader, well, you do have a variety of methods, but you know nothing on how to fight like Timefall. The only reason he lost was because of a cheat using the elements. Which is half true because it's more so of Dion, getting out of the amulet, and yeah, they won that way. But he definitely wouldn't have made it, without the Legion. But even then, I think in the reboot, I'll make it sure it's like a group effort rather than the battle just winning because of Dion, being given a an advantage thanks to the others. So yeah, this is like so it looks like Zanfor's fighting style is maintained like across these generations, and yeah, if they have the unique fighting style, as they defend, they whack arms and legs away, and yeah, it's that kind of fighting approach. So yeah, it creates that question again. Can the Legion be embodied in this one entity? Training wise, to go up against say Zanfor like ally. So it's like it's creating that kind of question. Is that going to be possible? And well, the answer is yes, obviously. So yeah, it's a cool concept, and maybe it was probably slightly contradicted because of sorry, just drawing randomly here. It's because the Legion have to go into this arena because of how things weren't going well. But if they were, if the leader had different intentions, that was not part of the deal, then yeah, of course the Legion were going to bump in and break their own rules because you can't just say, oh, if you win, if you lost, not oh, you better not win after what happens here. And so yeah, yeah, it's just going through the themes of variety of methods, which it could have been cool to see really, because we can't really make out much of what's happening with Vedlengrite here, but yeah, and also, so yeah, whilst this new era of Naravas, they're not bad guys, but I feel like they would have some kind of business against Legion because they did take down their ball. Zanfor was like a big figure to this race, but at the same time, oh, sorry, my laptop's nearly dead. There you go. Problem solved with one flick. Anyway, oh, what's going on? Not even. Okay, yeah, sorry about all of this noise. So yeah, like I said, yeah, just going for the themes of varieties and variety of methods, which is concept I really like. And oh, sorry, I was talking about Zone 4 and hang on. Just to clarify the previous points. So um, so they probably see Zone 4 as like a figure of some sort. Probably like times where they might have got inspired by him because he was, really cared about his combating skills and how he's made his race seem quite strong. Um, But yeah, I think they are still aware that where this universe taken over, it's not exactly allowed. If the Legion have been there before this new generation being like, let's just but we just keep everything peaceful. And so yeah, I think that's what they like to do, but they still want to make themselves seem strong too. So I mean that's something that can be somewhat inferred, but would have been really nice to be expanded such. So we'll go on to the next page. So yeah, I think I will admit that there's has been other times in media where I remember a couple of examples recently where it's like baited to be a duel and to be like, oh no, this isn't a duel. This is the bad guy trying to execute the other one. This was of course he did mention death being involved. So yeah, a bit of a cliches and idea that's kind of been done before, but at least it has like his own fresh spin by the Legion getting involved. And once again, Wolf is not meant to be here continuity wise. Yeah, imagine if I put Pod on, despite what I've said about him, where he's at, that would have been really bad too. And Dartra as a whole says, oh no, this isn't a fair fight, this is an execution. I know it wasn't as simple as he said. I knew it wasn't as simple as he said. We've got to do something. And so I think that's where I like, oh yeah, by the way, I've seen a lot of copied poses. There must have been a rush in this one, so I do apologise for that. Yeah, the normal standard poses are fine if they're not doing anything specific, but yeah, come on. But yeah, they're just watching nearby, and yeah, Bendig just got flipped, and he looks like he's about to throw the weapon towards Bendig. He looks a bit small, but maybe he was thrown a bit far back. Maybe that's what can be implied. And yeah, he's just got his weapon up, looks like he's wearing the weapon on his head, which is I guess another drawback to this pixelated look. So yeah, I think that's what so he's at a big disadvantage. He's losing. And Dad's like, we pretty much worked out, but what do we do? And yeah, that's where we can up to the next one. So yeah, it's pretty much the end of the story. Once again, Werewolf's not meant to be in there. Nice to pose in her animal form, but even then, she's not meant to be around. So let's go for the dialogue first. We know about your intention to get rid of him. We only came to save him, and he's still one. He's still one after our help. He's still what? We came to save him, and he's still. Oh, he's still one in a way. W, not wrong one, literally. After help. Um, After all, your attention already made this fight unfair. Now with our Naravas on the team, we suppose you might consider being in a race to help reduce the trouble across the universe. And the leader then says, fine, you can have him. And I admit to my thoughts, and I guess I'll apologise. We were so unsure and angry, but now I can see that he will help my race get a better reputation. We'll come out to the shadow someday, and I will thank you. Alright, so he's kind of turned, so he does have like a soft spot to him, which is quite nice because he wasn't like the hardest dude about, but I think after losing, I think he's like, yeah, fine. Also, oh yeah, Sebastian, what an odd position he's in. That's like his winning pose almost. It's kind of odd. Still amusing. He could have like cartwheeled not long ago and just finishing off after. Um, um, knocking the leader back in that way. But yeah, all the Legion right there in a row, just fighting poses, standing behind him, and the guards are just like, whatever. But if we break it down properly, so they're like, yes, we knew what you're intending, and like, yes, we helped. but the fight was already getting off balance with you trying to get hold of him. But he got rid of the killing blows, and he still won. So yeah, it's a bit of what can make this a bit jarring is that it's like saying, oh, if anyone gets in trouble with one other individual, you can just bump him every now and again, and the person would still win, because even if the Legion help, oh, but that's the thing, what would a fatal blow look like? Either would it be like a punch, or would it be like every time the spear is used? Or could it be when some attacks go too far? Yeah, it's a bit up in the air. I think that's what makes it a bit incoherent. But yeah, maybe there was only like a couple of them where the lead just like put them aside, and maybe they stood around by being like, don't do anything too bad, and so that's where probably caught that and tried to fight fair, but then he lost because once again the righty wins, as it's always done. So we came to, so we only come to the duel after saving him. So yeah, that's clarifying that. And he still won. And yeah, Naravas in the team. Now with our own Naravas on the team, we suppose you might consider being another race that reduces the trouble across the universe. Yeah, I think nearly every race is helping with the reduction of violence across the universe, but it looks like he's fine with it, and yeah, it's going to come out the whole race will come out the shadow someday, thanks to Venlig as well. So if Venlig shows off well enough, then yeah, I think it'll be some really cool and nice payoffs. And can have him, I admit my thoughts. So yeah, he's admitting his intention. So yeah, was outmatched intelligently. Says sorry, and so yeah, I think with the first time Venlig left this generation, I bet they were like, oh my gosh, like how treacherous, to join another clan when they're meant to stay with us. So they almost sound like the Titrans almost, which could be a parallel. But yeah, with Venlig staying with the Legion instead, yeah, like I said, better reputation, and yeah, they'll come out someday, and yeah, I think it'll be really nice when they do, yeah, to help reduce crime and such. So yeah, not to mention, like one of the because their Gara's scheme was quite big in scale, but one of the next big scheme things was that there was an idea of whilst it would have to be reasonable for how one contrabot made it out of the battle without getting shot, how he managed to make it out of that planet to then end up elsewhere. But then that singular contrabot evolves, duplicates himself, and start evading the entire universe. And even there's going to be a planned Otter sequel where the Otters are fine, and then that planet gets invaded. They know how to unite, even with other types of otters getting involved. They had to hide, get hold of the sea otters again, and they're all on ships, firing at the contrabot ships above, and even the Legion come along too to properly help out. So yes, it's another cool idea which I quite like, and it's like representative of another era. And once again, it is high stakes, but not universe altering stakes, like Book 5 was going to be. So yeah, and yeah, I think an event like that would have really boosted Venlig's positive contribution with the Legion, and so yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for that one. So yeah, very simplistic, couple of things that should be clarified, but as it's only a couple of problems I've spotted, I think yeah, the simpler story format kind of works in this one. But yeah, I think there could have been a couple more pages to clarify a couple of things. But I still like the outcome. I like the alternative twist on things, and for this era of the Legion to teach someone new, even after joining, after quite a while, because you would think that Venlig is fine with just being the one who's strong, but no, he had to learn how to fight to prove himself, and yeah, I feel like that'll be a big help with for the Legion going forward. Yeah, he'll be he's trusted to continue the legacy if yeah, because I think there are like some Legion members that are still around despite some of them getting old and going over time, and then they live with a lot of the new generation, and then of course Pod is the last one left, which is the next Contra, I think. Yes, because I'm definitely making that one the last one, because that is the last chapter of the entire universe story. Well, this version anyway, because to clarify, there's a storybook version, the 2 animations which are to create its own thing and cut off and stopped. And there's the novel continuity, which was almost like the main continuity which these comics are part of, and now it's getting rebooted. It's totally its own thing, because these were kind of adapting the storybooks, meaning making the storybooks completely inferior, but no, this was the definitive continuity. But now, the reboot will be the definitive continuity. So get the idea. So we'll stop there, and I'll see you next time.